The Taurus New Moon, May 7, 2024, 8:22 on the West Coast, 11:22 p.m. on the East Coast. It's going to take a while. Welcome, friends, to another video on the Sol y Luna Inspiration. I'm your host, Martin Comtois, recording in beautiful Saint-Jean sur le Richelieu in the heart of Quebec. Wow. What an adventure, huh? We've been studying the stars for a while together, and this particular new moon is seems to be triggering a whole lot of inner and outer activity, both in our personal lives and in the collective. And so we're going to try to get some clarity out of that. I want to thank everyone for all the beautiful comments that have been coming in and the beautiful questions. We did a video on dream analysis, the last video, and it was very well received. And yeah, it's quite an honor to share this sacred journey with all of you. So let's look at this new moon here and see what is brewing in the stars. So we have a Taurus new moon. I call it, it's going to take a while. So first of all, we have 5 planets in Taurus. Venus rules Taurus, so Venus rules this new moon. We should take some time to flesh out Venus in Taurus. Then we have a conjunction of Jupiter Uranus with the new moon. So this Jupiter Uranus conjunction, we've been talking lots about it, leading to this conjunction that happened on the 20th of this this month, 20th degree, the 23rd degree, no, the 20th degree on the 20th of April. Yes. So that Jupiter Uranus conjunction with the new moon and with Venus all in Taurus. Then we have 3 planets in Aries, in exact conjunction of Mercury and Chiron, and Mars in Aries. Mars rules Aries. So then Mars rules these 3 planets. So then we have a very interesting energy of all the Earth energy, 5 planets in Earth, and then 3 planets in fire, Aries with Mars in its own domicile, and Venus is its own domicile. So these planets, Venus and Mars, are very strong. Then we have, the 2 planets in Pisces, Saturn and Neptune. Neptune's just about to leave Pisces. And then we have good old Pluto in Aquarius. So Venus in Taurus and Mars in Aries. So Venus is a personal planet, and so is Mars. And Venus is the feminine feeling function of our psychic economy. It is how we feel, what pleases us, what we value, our relationship with abundance and beauty and aesthetics, everything that has to do with joy and pleasure and comfort. So Venus in Taurus is all about those things. It's about making the experience of life pleasurable, enjoyable, joyous, beautiful, Um, Venus in Taurus has a beautiful singing voice. It's a sense of creativity and beauty. Um, so then Venus in Taurus rules this Sun Moon conjunction. Sun Moon, of course, Moon is exalted in Taurus. It is a very comfortable, nurturing place for the Moon, and the Sun. Well, the Sun warms the Earth so that life can come forth from the abundance of the Earth, and so Venus. Uh, Sun, Moon in Taurus. It's springtime. Life is burgeoning. Buds are on the trees. Seems though that spring has been delayed a little bit. Of course, this is only April, and we're just today actually is the first day of May. Happy Beltane to everyone. So this is technically the beginning of summer, if you look at it astrologically. Um, we're entering into the brightest quarter of the year, from Beltane to um, the Lion's Gate, the beginning of Leo in August. We have the longest days of the year in the northern hemisphere. Very fertile time, and we're entering into that. But again, it seems delayed. And this Jupiter Uranus conjunction, we've been studying that quite a bit. And now the new moon is in conjunction with Jupiter Uranus, and all of the inner planets, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, will be making conjunctions to the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in due course. And so the significance of the Jupiterian need for emancipation and the need for evolution, symbolized by Uranus, is going to take on a very personal note. And yes, it's becoming very personal for a lot of us, this need for activating the evolutionary role that we play in this major drama that is unfolding in front of us. And so we'll take a look a little bit more about what this big drama is. But the Jupiter Uranus is a conjunction, is an angular, is a astrological event that we've been looking at for quite a while. And if you're interested in diving deeper into that, I'm going to put a link to the video where we discuss it. But also now Mars in Aries. So Venus, I want to be comfortable. I want to be joyous. But with Jupiter and Uranus, the ground is shaking. There's fertility spring, but it seems to be delayed, and things seem to be out of whack. And the new moon, with all of these energies, will bring about a change. And then we'll have the moon conjunct Jupiter Uranus, and then we'll have the sun conjoin Jupiter Uranus, and we'll have the moon. Yes, I'm sorry, Venus conjunct Uranus, all following this new moon into the next full moon, which will be a Sagittarius full moon, and that's going to be quite much more fiery, and we'll be starting to feel uh, summer coming along, spring coming along more rapidly at that time. But this particular new moon coming up on Tuesday in the evening is stirring up quite a bit in our process. So then let's look at the Mars in Aries. Mars in Aries is the warrior. And so we can see the warrior being activated. There's a lot of anger in the collective. There's a lot of rage. Rawr. And then the Mercury Chiron conjunction is ruled by Mars, and Chiron being the wounded healer. And we've had 3 conjunctions of Mercury and Chiron because of retrogression. And so then, it's time to take our healing seriously. There's some serious wounds in the collective, some serious anger in all of us. We're feeling that anger. It's rising in us, and it's unsettling our need for harmony and peace and beauty that is symbolized by Venus in Taurus. So those are very interesting energies that are taking place and tugging at us through this new moon. So let's look at that again here. So we have the 5 planets in Taurus, the 3 planets in Aries, and the 2 planets in Pisces. We talked about the safe container, and so with all the planets coming through Pisces, I think one of the things that's very clear about all of this is that if you don't have a very strong Saturn discipline, Neptune mystical discipline, these times are very unsettling. And we've been saying that for a long time here. And to the degree that you've been able to integrate that strong spiritual practice, then you're able to harness the anger for healing, Mercury Chiron, and although it's very unsettling, you're making changes, Uranus, hopeful changes to your way of living, moon, sun in Taurus, and hopefully this is very creative and you're making room for creativity. So the moon conjunct Jupiter Uranus. So now we're really feeling that Jupiter Uranus conjunction. Do you feel it now? And it's been in our periphery. We've been seeing it. We've been feeling it. We've been talking about it. But now with the new moon on Jupiter Uranus, we're really feeling it. Then the last Mercury Chiron conjunction, how are you taking your health seriously now? I think, again, we talked about, our mental health, our physical health, our spiritual health, and our emotional health. Now, all of those aspects have been calling us while this Chiron, and then we're going to have later on in May and in June a Mars Chiron conjunction, which will put the warrior in service to the wounded healer. And so that's going to be very interesting. And again, all the personal planets are moving along and they will all make conjunction to Jupiter Uranus. Of course, Jupiter will fly right into Gemini very quickly, where we have Venus, Jupiter, and the Sun all moving into Gemini at the end of the month. And so that will bring the Gemini trickster energy to the forefront. And again, will be in within a month of the summer solstice. And that's always a very active season. So this is a very important time of reflection as times they are changing. And then last but not least, and that's why I called this video, It's Going to Take a While. Now we have the Triad of Transformation back in orb. Here we go again. So that's Pluto, Neptune, Uranus in triangle. And we're going to be talking about a lot of this throughout the rest of the year. As early as next full moon, we're going to have a amazing bowl shape, a holy grail of sort, triggering and engaging with the Triad of Transformation. And the Triad of Transformation will be in orb for the next 3 years or so, with it being very, very close to exact in the summer of 2025 and in the summer of 2026. I have I've done 7 videos on this, and I have more coming up, and I'll put a link to the playlist on the Triad of Transformation. Go check it out. Do your studies. This is a really big thing, and by fall, of this year, we're going to really feel this tension very heavily. So it's gonna take a while. Yes, many of us have been feeling a tremendous amount of pressure over these last few months, and this is not liable to go away anytime soon. As a matter of fact, it may just intensify. So then this sacred container piece, the the deep spiritual practice of Saturn and Neptune, what's going on very interesting, and we'll do a video on that, few videos on that, is the Saturn Neptune conjunction that's building and that's completing next summer, and will be Saturn Neptune at be at 1 degree of Aries in exact alignment to Pluto at 1 degrees of Aquarius, and Uranus as 1 degree of Gemini. And so that's Saturn Neptune, forming the sacred container for for connecting to the ancestors and spirit. um, they seem to have a plan uh, in place for this very powerful triad of transformation. So that's um, what's going on. So then, yes, the triad of transformation. What to do with that, huh? And so with the Jupiter Uranus conjunction, it's kind of the trumpets are glaring. We are entering into a very important window of time, an alchemical opportunity for transformation, a kairos, as Jung and the alchemists would have called it. The kairos is the propitious time for change. Big changes brewing in our personal lives and in the collective. And so at times like this, it's kind of normal to feel anxious without knowing why, and also to feel that something is going on, and to take, sometimes we take that personally. And it's kind of good to take it personally, because if we do take it personally, then we'll do something about it. And doing something about it, what does that look like, doing something about it? Well, that's that piece about Saturn Neptune, developing a strong discipline towards giving spirit a voice in our lives and practices. We've been talking about that a lot. Rituals, apotropaic means, making offerings. The great meaning behind these times is an integration of lessons that I've been building. It's like we've been pushing back the inevitable confrontation with the fallacies of our ways of life, pushing them back, ignoring them, and creating stopgap measures to stop the crisis from taking root now. So we just pushing it back into the future, and now this crisis looms very large, and the solutions are very difficult, because all of the band-aids that we've put on, now we have to rip them all, and we have to create real solutions. And these real solutions are very difficult because our motivation isn't right. We're not in harmony with spirit. We're not in harmony with the gods. We're not in harmony with nature. And therefore, nature and the gods and the ancestors, they're taking revenge on us in so many different ways. And that explains the incredible tension between, um, neighbors, between all over the world. Everybody's blaming their neighbors for their own lack of peace of mind and lack of connection with spirit. Then they say, oh, it's everybody else's fault, and they're willing to kill other people to prove that they're right. And that's the very nature of the human disease, is that We cannot live in peace with ourselves, and we project that on our neighbor. And so a lot of work needs to be done. So that's why I say it's gonna take a while. This is a prolonged crisis, and the long view is necessary as you face very complex issues in your own personal lives and in the collective. And it starts with prayer and practice and ritual and taking seriously your own health and being in harmony with nature yourself and with your destiny and being in right place in right time. And that's requires tremendous amount of courage. And I hear you, this is not easy. The one thing that makes it easy is company on the path, shared practice. Shared practice is the most important thing you can do, to find a tribe, to find a community, and to pray together, and to worship together, and to do rituals together, and to share each other's realization and create sustainability, grow big gardens, make art, make music, create sustainability, and live a better life, tell a better story. That's the solutions are that simple, and we know them, and they've been around for a long time. The success of our times is measured in small little acts of kindness and love and beauty. And that's the only way we're going to turn the tide. And if we do that, then we can use this alchemical time to bring power to what it is that we're trying to do. And so this could be good, this could be bad. You know, there's a lot of blessings available in times like this, but there's also lots of challenges. So showing up for that and for yourself first, because you're the most important person you'll ever know. And if you're not happy, and if you're not healthy, and if you're not taking good care of yourself, then everything doesn't matter. We need to be healthy and thriving to help others do the same. And in order to do that, we need each other too. But if we're not in right mind, if we're not in right spirit, if we're not in right body, if we're not in, if our emotions are disturbed, then we're not good for anybody else. And if we are good for everybody else around us, then people will seek our company and will create community that will form sustainability. That's basically the key, and that information is out there, and we're all in it together, as the saying goes. So let's see. Now we have the alchemical opportunities in all of this. So on April 29th, Venus entered into Taurus. We're on May 1st today. Again, happy Beltane. April 30th, Mars enters Aries. So just a couple of days ago, Venus and Mars entered into their respective home sign, creating an interesting tension between being happy and comfortable in our bodies and wanting to fight the good fight to bring about the change that we want to see. There's healing, and there's a tremendous amount of tension in the collective, and we're feeling that with our Venus, we're feeling that with our Mars. And then on May 7th, Mercury makes the last conjunction with Chiron. Also on May 7th, we have the Taurus New Moon, which we're discussing today. So that's something that we're getting ready for next Tuesday, 8:22 in the evening on the West Coast and 11:22 in the evening on the East Coast. Most of my following comes from the West Coast, but now that I'm moving to the East Coast, I'm putting both times in. Then on May 13th, Sun conjuncts Uranus. at 23 degrees. So Taurus New Moon is very close to Jupiter Uranus conjunction. And on the 13th, Sun makes conjunct with Uranus. Then on the 18th, Venus conjuncts Uranus. And also on the same day, Sun conjunct Jupiter. So this Sun, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus conjunction is the flavor of this 10-day period between the 7th and the 10th, and actually on the 20th, Sun enters Gemini with Jupiter and Venus, and that will mark a tremendous shift in energy. What a full moon that's going to be. Um, no, what is, sorry, that's the 20th, and then the 23rd comes the Sagittarius full moon, which will all be that full moon will engage with Jupiter and Venus and form that bowl shape, that holy grail of sort, and we'll study that coming up. So that's going to be a very active full moon. So then lots of changes brewing, but we were expecting things to change more rapidly, and isn't that the human nature, huh? And I guess I get guilty of it as much as any person. We want to be able to tell good news, but the practical fact of the matter is this particular crisis we're moving through is going to take a while. Summer should be a little bit easier once we, get into this more festive solstice vibe that's coming up, the longest days of the years. But by the time fall comes along, we're going to be in a prolonged period of intensity for the next few years. And we've been getting the warning signs for that all along. And so the simple things of life, community, family, shared practices, studies, um, um, growing big gardens, sharing to eat with each other, living the life that we know we are capable of living as examples for the people that are caught up in this crisis that is taking place right now. So um, so much to be gained from that. And in my own practice, I really feel blessed that I have you guys to share this with, and your comments and your support and your thumbs up and whatever you share with me, dream analysis or astrology. We're in it together, and thank you so much for supporting my work, whether it be by readings or dream analysis. um, Again, we're in this together. And so I'm sorry here. I'm the healer and the dreamer astrology. Martin Comtois is my name. I do dream analysis and astrology readings. Spirit of the Times 108 at gmail.com. Let's stay connected and let's do this. Mm, Thanks for tuning in, and catch you next time. Whoop, whoop, whoop.